Good morning, it's Val, coming to you from the Stitchin Post this fine summer day. Thought I'd bring you a little quilt show today. Quilt show today features my New York Beauty quilts. Back in the day, I was obsessed with New York Beauties. Mom taught me how to draft them because she had been working with Karen Stone's patterns. And I liked it, but I was like, I want to make my own. So she taught me how to draft, and I got obsessive. And so these first several quilts are from my book called Radiant New York Beauties, where I teach you how to draft your own blocks and make all sorts of different New York Beauty style quilts. I really played around with different settings and sizes of blocks. This one was really fun because really got into the machine quilting into the black area with that lime green. Although I tell you what I learned on this quilt, because I always learn something, right? So that black is a sateen, and I'm gonna tell you what, it is hard to work with. And then I had to wash it, so it had a little puckering. That was when my mom taught me, don't worry, honey, you can quilt that out. Anyway, this is one of my favorites. Sorry it's so loud. Jeez Louise. This is one of my favorites called Pacific Rim. I don't know. I had collected all of these Asian-inspired fabrics. Like that one in the top is an Alexander Henry fabric. I absolutely love it. So I had gathered all these from the shop. We used to have a huge department in it. And then I made these itty bitty New York Beauty blocks. Well, I should say itty bitty points. Anyway, this is one of my favorites. We're moving along. This next one is from a book I did later. And this quilt is called Firefly. New York Beauty again, a rectangular block this time as opposed to a square block. And then this is kind of my, when I came back to New York Beauties after I had a little more time with my children who had grown up and I wasn't so consumed. And this is called Soaring. It was made, this one's made out of my 40th collection called Marmalade Dreams. But originally it was made out of a different collection called Musings. We've seen this one a lot because I love it. It says Morning Chatter out of my collection Murmur. I love the hummingbirds. They're just so happy. And then this next quilt is actually made by Annette Caldwell, but it was my design. So back when I was doing the book, I'm gonna have to step out in the street so we can get the whole thing. Back when I was doing the book, I drafted one of the quilt show raffle quilts, and it was called Paprika. And so it was done in reds and browns, and we loved it so much, revisited it in this palette, which is called High Desert. And then right now in the shop, we have one called, we have one in the shop right now called Blue Pool. It's one of those patterns that you can just translate into different palettes to get a completely different feel. All right, the last quilt I'm sharing is my Joshua Tree quilt, which there is no pattern, but in my book, Radiant New York Beauties, the last chapter is dedicated to this quilt and drafting your own. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about how I did this. Everything is done on a 6-inch block, and they're all on point. So there you can see the New York Beauty block that was drafted. And then what I did is I put freezer paper in 6-inch squares up on my design wall. And I drew the tree and the branches and the background. And then each one of those little blocks was then pieced based on my drawing. So you can see where the pieces come in, how they're pieced within that 6-inch block. So it really is quite simple. It's tedious, but the concept, once you break it down, is just lines and gentle curves. So if you can take and minimize the complexity into something that's attainable within your toolbox, then you can make something like this. All right, I'm gonna cruise on back here. It's amazing how much trucks go by here early in the morning. We like to come out early because the lighting is so beautiful out here. And we can get the quilts up before the shop opens. But I'm gonna leave them up all day today. I think it's nice. Have the traffic come by, see all these beautiful quilts. Maybe think about stopping and checking it out. Hope everyone is having an excellent summer so far. And as we navigate these uncharted territories, I just want you to know, all of us at the Stitchin Post are here for you. We're thinking about you. And I hope everyone stays safe and has a great day.